think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If you're not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Mike Tyson expresses deep concern about Canelo's future, warning that a loss to Terence Crawford could be devastating. He points out that in previous fights, Canelo hasn't used his jab effectively, which often allowed opponents to gain confidence and close the distance. Tyson advises that this time, Canelo must refine his jab strategy, using it with greater precision and consistency to control the fight and prevent Crawford from building momentum.
He's not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right in on him, like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Well, he was really basic,
Veteran boxing analyst Teddy Atlas acknowledges that Canelo Alvarez has faced a long list of elite opponents across multiple weight classes, giving him one of the most impressive resumes in boxing. In contrast, Terence Crawford hasn't fought as many marquee names as fans might expect from a fighter of his caliber. However, Atlas stresses that true greatness isn't always about the quantity of names on a resume, but the quality of skill and adaptability a fighter shows inside the ring. He believes Crawford's mastery of timing, angles, and ring control will help him overcome Canelo's physical advantages. Atlas also highlights Crawford's calm demeanor and ability to adjust mid-fight as potentially decisive factors against a seasoned champion like Alvarez.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The stakes for Canelo Alvarez in this matchup go far beyond a simple win or loss. Terence Crawford is moving up 2 weight classes for this fight, which is a unique challenge but also places pressure squarely on Canelo. A loss under these circumstances would invite harsh criticism, suggesting Canelo couldn't overcome a naturally smaller opponent despite his size, strength, and experience advantages. Such a result would raise questions about his current status in the sport and could damage his reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of his generation. This is why the fight carries significant risk for Canelo even before the bell rings.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this fight.
David Benavidez speaks confidently when describing Terence Crawford's place among boxing's elite. He sees Crawford as a fighter operating on a different level of technical skill and mental sharpness compared to most boxers today. Benavidez praises Crawford's ability to seamlessly switch stances, stay composed under pressure, and control the pace of the fight regardless of his opponent's style. He believes this combination of poise and technical precision makes Crawford an incredibly difficult puzzle to solve inside the ring. For Benavidez, Crawford's edge lies not just in his physical talent, but also in his high fight IQ, which allows him to break down even the most experienced fighters over time.
Does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terrence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, Yeah, I can make 168.
Jeff Mayweather highlights the exceptional technical skill that has defined Terence Crawford's career.
Jeff Mayweather highlights the exceptional technical skill that defines Terence Crawford's career, especially his ability to read opponents and adjust his game plan with surgical precision. While he gives Crawford the advantage in pure boxing craft, Mayweather reminds fans that Canelo Alvarez's power and experience can't be overlooked. Canelo has repeatedly shown he can change the course of a fight with one well-placed punch and has thrived in high-pressure bouts against some of boxing's biggest names. Jeff warns that underestimating Canelo's ability to adapt and seize openings would be a costly mistake for Crawford or any fighter stepping into the ring with him.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman's technical analysis focuses heavily on the jab as a key factor in this fight. He notes that Crawford's jab is among the most efficient and accurate in modern boxing, allowing him to control range, set up combinations, and disrupt his opponent's rhythm. This ability to dictate pace with a well-timed jab has been central to Crawford's success. Kellerman contrasts this with Canelo Alvarez, whose jab was once a weapon capable of neutralizing aggressive fighters. However, in recent years, Canelo's jab has appeared less consistent and less frequent, potentially leaving him vulnerable to Crawford's disciplined use of the lead hand.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Anchuan Russell points out the cultural and stylistic differences that often define boxing matchups. He explains that Canelo Alvarez embodies the traditional Mexican fighting style, blending calculated pressure with powerful body shots and counterpunching. In contrast, Russell says Terence Crawford brings the rhythm, fluidity, and defensive awareness often associated with African-American boxing styles. This stylistic clash creates an intriguing dynamic as each fighter will try to impose their rhythm while neutralizing the other's strengths.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia openly supports Terence Crawford in this high-profile matchup. He admires Crawford's work ethic, discipline, and dedication to mastering boxing fundamentals. Garcia believes Crawford's success at the highest level is a positive development for the sport, showcasing the value of technical mastery and ring intelligence. While respecting Canelo Alvarez and his achievements, Garcia is personally rooting for Crawford to emerge victorious.
I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. In this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's promo, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Omari Jones praises Crawford's preparation for this bout as a model of professionalism. Instead of rapidly bulking up and risking loss of speed and stamina, Crawford has strategically added weight through a targeted nutrition and conditioning program. This approach helps him maintain the agility that makes his style effective, while building the durability needed to face a naturally bigger fighter like Canelo. Jones sees this preparation as giving Crawford the best chance to win while minimizing the physical disadvantages of moving up in weight.
And me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win. So
you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. The nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard. So I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know you, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yes.
I'm super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Pauli Malignaggi adds to the discussion by praising Crawford's ability to find the right balance in his physical preparation. He observes that Crawford has gained the muscle mass necessary to handle Canelo's power without sacrificing the quickness that allows him to land counters and escape pressure. Malignaggi attributes this to Crawford's disciplined training camp and his attention to every detail from diet to sparring strategy. This preparation could be a deciding factor in whether Crawford can successfully impose his style against Canelo.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the.
Stephen Breadman Edwards focuses on Crawford's mastery of movement as the foundation of his success. He explains that Crawford's ability to manage distance forces opponents into uncomfortable positions, making them miss and leaving them vulnerable to counters. This skill combined with elite conditioning allows Crawford to maintain a high pace without tiring across 12 rounds. Edwards believes that this movement will be crucial in neutralizing Canelo's pressure and preventing him from trapping Crawford against the ropes. He also points out that Crawford's mental resilience ensures that he stays composed even when under heavy fire.
He slips, he's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch His conditioning is so good. They're gonna be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer, and I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and he gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, when the guy's running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of there.
Canelo Alvarez's recent performance against William Skull has sparked concern among analysts and fans alike. His output was lower than usual, and his movements lacked the urgency and precision that have been hallmarks of his prime years. Instead of pressing the action, Canelo often reacted to Skull's offense, allowing his opponent to work more comfortably than expected. This hesitance raised questions about whether Canelo still has the stamina and sharpness to control elite opponents over 12 rounds. Critics worry that if these issues persist, they could be exploited by a fighter as versatile as Crawford.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Sean Porter and other analysts believe that for Crawford to win, he must rely on a game plan centered around distance control and strategic angles. By constantly changing positioning and forcing Canelo to reset, Crawford can blunt his opponent's forward momentum. Over time, this could wear Canelo down both physically and mentally. Porter emphasizes that mental discipline will be just as important as physical ability in this fight. The fighter who remains composed, focused, and consistent with their strategy from the opening bell to the final round is likely to emerge victorious.
And so I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner, they have the presser in Riyadh, they have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, that is not Canelo. What he did with Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him. And that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win. But. I don't want to get too deep into it today, but my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming The fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.